What's up, guys? It's Wes and Andy back once again for the Fandom Power Podcast. Welcome to episode number
Four.
I don't
Random
know.
Fandom.
The fourth episode of Random Fandom here on Tuesday night. It's February 28th. It's the end of the month. Man,
Spring's around the corner.
spring is right around the corner. Mind you, we just had another small dumping of snow, but
True,
that's
and
not
there's
too
more
bad.
on the way. But
Guys, if this is your first time with us, welcome to the show. This is a 100% audience participation show. You can hit us up in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or over on our Facebook page. Check out the embedded WhatsApp link. You can call in the show. We've tested the tech, and it is working tonight, unlike
previous episodes.
a couple of weeks ago. Andy, you got some stuff lined up for us this week, I noticed. Before we get to that, maybe it's time we hit up another Random Fandom trivia question.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
At War with the Mystics, The Soft Bulletin, and Embryonic are all albums by which U.S. rock band?
I don't think I heard anything you said. Can you read that again?
At War with the Mystics,
Okay.
The Soft Bulletin,
Okay.
and Embryonic are all albums by which U.S. rock band?
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm stumped on that one.
They're a fairly obscure band.
When you say obscure, how obscure are we talking?
If you know them, you know them.
Like contemporary?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. All right. I'm completely at a loss.
Fair enough. The Flaming Lips.
Oh, wow. You know what's funny? I've seen the Flaming Lips and I didn't know that.
Oops.
Listen, guys, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. We got a special guest lined up.
We do.
And yeah, so this is kind of exciting for us because, hey, it's the first time it's really happened where someone has said, hey, I got a thing going on and I think it fits in line with your show.
And it's a pretty neat thing, too.
Love to come on and talk about it. So, guys, hailing from Brooklyn, New York, our guest tonight is an independent film director, writer, producer, and sometimes actor. He has a love for a lot of the same things that we love here at Fandom Power, including coffee and Weird Al Yankovic. He's the host of Good Magical Morning, a weekly entertainment magazine show on his very own streaming service, Pure Magic Pictures. His latest project is the feature film Skye Hoshi, Anime Girl, a story about what happens when an anime character falls out of her poster into the real world and her quest to get home. Skye Hoshi, Anime Girl releases April 21st exclusively on puremagicpictures.com. Please welcome to the show, Kalani Hubbard. Kalani, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Thank you for finding us and making us more legit.
Love it. Love it.
That's awesome.
I love how you threw Weird Al in there. You know, you gotta love Weird Al.
So the biggest Weird Al fan I know is right over
Really?
there.
I have been to 2 Weird Al concerts.
Nice.
I have been
It
to
was
0.
glorious.
Was one of them the intimate setting?
It was.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes.
I'm a huge I mean, obviously I'm a fan of Al's parody work, but I'm also a fan of Al as an actor. As a huge as an 80s kid, as a huge Transformer fan, I try to make the trek as often as I can to the big Transformer convention, TFCon. And every time you go into the convention, they ask you, what guests would you like us to try and get? And every year I always put down Weird Al, not only because he contributed a song to the 86 film, but he got to do a voice in the 2000. Oh my gosh, what year? Transformers Animated, whatever year that came out.
Oh my God, there's been so many of them.
Yeah.
He also did a voice on My Little Pony.
Oh, did he?
He did.
I didn't know that.
Oh, what a
Cheese
guy.
sandwich.
I mean, I seriously, UHF is one of the best movies ever.
Yep.
It's
I
so
just
good.
recently rewatched it again, and it's
It's
still.
It
so
holds
good.
up.
I think it's better. I think it's better now, and maybe it's because I'm older.
And you appreciate the UHF
I really
stations.
do. Yes, I do. I do. Checking in with the
Yeah.
comments tonight. Fairy fan says, "Yes, I love Weird Al. We
I
all
gotta love
love
it.
Weird Al."
It's
Listen,
awesome. Well, thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to
no,
be here.
I am super, super happy that you wanted to come and hang out with us. I know there was some coordination issues between emailing between your wife and then tying you into the email chain, but here we are. It
We're
is
here. We made
happening.
it.
So for those of you who are watching live tonight, welcome. And for those of you who are catching us in the replay, you need to invent time travel. Hurry up. Speaking of time, I got invited to do. I'll be doing a show with some friends of ours. Adam from Go Figure, who was our guest 2 weeks ago, invited me to a show next Tuesday morning. But in order to catch that, you got to be early because it's going live at 6 a.m. Eastern.
I don't know if I'll be up there.
Definitely. Well, I'm a guest, so I have to.
I'll catch the replay until I get time.
There you go.
So listen, you're a young guy. And you are a filmmaker, and I am enamored with the filmmaking process. Having spent an adult lifetime working conventional jobs, how do you become a filmmaker? Like, is film your full-time thing?
It is. Yes, it's my full-time gig these days.
I'm envious.
Well,
I am envious.
Depending on how you spin it, I spend more than a full-time job's worth of time filmmaking.
Sure.
But I also do commercials and stuff on the side every now and then.
Oh wow, okay, that's good.
So you got to do a little bit of everything these days. But yes, my main focus is filmmaking. Yeah.
Right. So that was sort of the career path right from the get-go. You were going to be involved in the entertainment world some way somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fantastic.
I've always been a big fan of just storytelling. It's just something I really love to do. And I started out back in the day with my dad's old video camera, a little like tape camera,
Sure.
filming home movies and editing it with the like a VCR, and like hitting record and doing weird stuff to edit stuff together. RCA cables and all, back in those days. And then just always loved storytelling, always had fun doing stuff, making people laugh.
Sure.
And I switched to doing like corporate stuff, and I've done lots of commercials and everything, and short films with friends, and worked my way all the way here. And now we're making feature films and releasing them on Pure Magic Pictures, which is a streaming platform that me and my wife created, where we have all indie movies and shows that we've created all in one place to watch. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Does the term starving artist, is it a real thing? Like, have you experienced that?
It is feast and famine.
Okay, that's
what
fair.
we like to say. It's like we have a job. Fair. It's a feast. That's a little bit between jobs. Well, but it's all part of it. It's you don't do it for the money. You do it because you love it, and that's why we're here. So
exactly. I mean, on a much smaller scale, that's kind of what we've experienced. When we launched as a podcast, we were just a purely audio podcast. But like, as soon as you make that leap into video, you suddenly become much more aware of the process. And certainly our process is probably a little bit different than making a film, but there is some cross pollination there where you're like, oh my God, suddenly I'm not just the face of the thing anymore. I'm now the editor, the writer. All the hats that you are currently wearing.
Yeah.
One thing I always say, so I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just I totally, I feel you. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's not just you press a button and there's a video or a movie. It's a lot of stuff. It takes a lot of time, and on Skye Hoshi I wore a lot of hats. I was cinematographer, so I filmed the whole thing, and also I wrote it and directed it, and now I edited it, and now I'm doing some visual effects. So it's like there's a lot. I wear a lot of hats. When you're doing indie stuff, you got to wear all the hats. But It's fun.
I always say to people, people who are considering getting into sort of the idea of being a content creator, I always say, never let the gear get in the way of being creative. And I have to imagine that as a filmmaker, that's a similar sort of sentiment. Like, there's always going to be a reason why you can't do something, but if you don't do it, you never will. At the same time, though, like, you could throw a lot of money into something, especially what we do, and nobody will ever notice it. But when it comes to a feature film, suddenly budgets become a much more tangible thing because it's noticeable in the finished project. How do you handle the budget constraint of an independent film? Like, who's financing this stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we say constraints breeds creativity, and knowing what you have, and saying, okay, here's what I have to work with. Let's make something with these things. And that always creates something unique that you would have never, if you had all the resources in the world, you would have never thought of that, because it's just all the constraints that you have points you to this direction, and then you're able to actually make something unique and in a lot of ways better than it would have been if you could have just came up with anything. So that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, we're just taking the small budgets that we have and the resources around us and saying, let's make something really cool with this. And so that's what we did with Skye Hoshi. I mean, we were able to get a connection to the Anime NYC conference, which is like the big one for AnimeCon. And so we were like, okay, we have this amazing anime conference. I was watching a lot of anime, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm inspired with anime stuff. And and I have this comic book store that we've kind of become friends with. Okay, here are like these puzzle pieces, and I have this idea that I think is kind of cool. Okay, cool. Let's make a movie with this. And so we were able to go and film Skye Hoshi Anime Girl at Anime NYC, powered by Crunchyroll.
Oh, wow.
And it was very, very cool to show up to Anime NYC with like a really nice camera and our character, Skye Hoshi, which Olivia showed up. That was day one of filming, and we were at the conference with like all these different, cosplay and like these big sets and stuff. And we're like, oh, this is so cool. And people were coming up to our to Olivia, who plays Skye, and they're like, oh, what character are you? And she's like, I'm Skye Hoshi, actually.
I'm an original character.
I'm an original character, yeah. So people were pretty excited, and it was really cool to see like the anime community so excited about it, and kind of accept it. They're like, oh, this is so cool. So that was really validating for us filming. And it was just a lot of fun. So anyways, to answer your question, it weirdly, it's a blessing, to be like, okay, here are constraints and let's get creative. And I think it pushes me as a writer director to write something and make the most compelling story that I possibly can out of the things that we have in front of us. So
that's awesome.
One of those things that you had in front of you mentioned on your socials, the entire film was shot on one certain lens, which yielded you some excellent results, I hear.
Yes, absolutely. So Ingenue is a really, really nice lens company. The lens that we use is an anamorphic lens, and it's from the company Ingenue. And the lens was used on movies like, oh my gosh, I'm spacing on it. Star Trek. Thank you. Star Trek. A Star is Born. Like a lot of like really big Hollywood movies use these lenses. And so we sent an email to Ingenue, and they just so happened to know my work. And so they're like, oh, actually, we'll lend you this lens if you want to
that's amazing.
Shoot this movie on it. And we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we were able to use this lens to shoot the whole movie. And we shot the entire feature on one lens, and it looks glorious. It's just beautiful. So the imagery is next level. I'm really excited about that as well. So
that's awesome that, people are supportive of your work and want you to be successful. That, oh, sure, here, have a lens. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, those things ain't cheap. So it was very cool to be able to shoot our film on something so amazing and really elevated the imagery for sure. And so it has a very particular look, and a look that I've always like dreamed of. And I'm like, oh my God, we're using it. It's cool. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
We have this, there's this very famous Canadian musician up here is like super famous, Kim Mitchell. And there was a time when Kim Mitchell was, not only was he this uber popular Canadian rock and roll artist, but he was also a DJ for a major market rock and roll radio station. Now he used to do this thing called Damn I Wish I Wrote That, where he would pick a song. Awesome. He would pick a song and he would play it, and he would talk about why he wished that he had written that song. So my question for you is there a movie that you wish you had written?
Back to the Future, hands down. 100%.
Yeah, really. I mean, he doesn't want to have that.
Yeah. Back to the Future. Close second would be Goonies.
Nice. Two favorites. Oh,
yes.
Man.
I always say, recently somebody asked me, what are your movie inspirations? And I always watch, before I make any movie, there's two movies I watch every single time just to get inspired. I watch Back to the Future and I watch The Goonies every time. And those two movies are just like perfect movies in every way to me. Just the storytelling, the tone, just the aesthetic, everything. Those movies are what I aspire to be. And so I watch them every single time I make a movie. So hopefully there'll be a hint of that inspiration in Skye Hoshi. Hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit.
so just as an aside, both of those movies, they keep coming around, especially in the last 5 or so years. They keep coming up. Back to the Future, obviously, there's that. It's not a fake trailer, but it's a marketing, for another Back to the Future film. And Sean Astin, among others of the Goonies cast, has said, maybe it's time for another one.
Maybe.
I would go crazy. Oh man, that'd be great.
Do it as they were. I'm so nervous. It's like, it's perfect now. Don't wreck it.
Don't mess with it.
Don't mess with it. Yeah.
We live in this world of, reboots and reimaginings. They're not new. It's not a new thing. This has been going on for a long time. But those two movies stand out to me as ones that are, dare I say, sacred. Leave it alone.
Yes. Some things are best just, left alone. Just rewatch it as is.
Yeah. So listen, as someone who does independent film as well as you'd said you did commercials as well, have you ever thought about trying to, or would you consider wanting to do a movie for one of the studios? Is that something that's on your radar?
It's not necessarily something I'm like gunning for, being like, hey, hire me. But if the opportunity came, I would totally do it. Being able to play with the big cameras and the big toys and crazy big things, of course.
Nice.
More explosions. Who could say no?
All right, we're gonna. I want to take a few minutes or a couple minutes here, and I want to shift gears because we have the teaser trailer, and we're going to show it. Before we do that, I want to circle back to Weird Al for a second. What's your favorite Weird Al song?
My favorite Weird Al song is Albuquerque, which is ridiculously long and complicated, and it's kind of Weird Al said that he made that song to kind of troll his fans.
Sure.
But then his fans literally learned all the words to the song, and now it's just like this epic, 20-minute long song or however long it is. And I just love it. It's hilarious. It's great, and that's weirdly my favorite Weird Al song.
Okay, and that's awesome. So we've got the trailer. I'm going to show the trailer, and then when we come back around to it, maybe you can sort of walk us through what we're looking at.
Love to.
Right, hang on here. We're gonna fire this up here. Let's get the. This is it. This is the Fandom Power debut of the Skye Hoshi Anime Girl teaser trailer. Here we go.
Wish Skye Hoshi was real. She'd probably be all nice and bet you she'd have ramen with me.
Hold it right there.
Where the hell did you even come from?
Skye Hoshi, the anime character, has just disappeared from the anime.
What?
This is insane.
I gotta get you back to the anime. That is a customer that you just zapped.
Oh man, sorry.
All right, Skye Hoshi, anime girl. That was the teaser.
There it is.
I love her expression at the end. Sorry.
It's so good. Olivia killed it. Seriously, she took the character that I wrote and just elevated it and made it just amazing. I'm just so grateful for her and her performance. And yeah, there's so many amazing moments like that where she's like, "Oh, sorry," or there's a moment where she eats ramen. And it is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie because she basically it's her first time eating food in real life.
Real food.
Real food. And she takes the ramen and she takes the entire thing and shoves it in her mouth in like one bite. And we only had to do one take of it and we used the first take in the movie. It is just like flawlessly outrageous. It's perfect. So lots of hilarious ramen eating and yeah, she did great. But yeah, I'm very happy with the teaser. I think it's really fun and kind of shows you what the movie is so far.
Well, you should be. One of the things. Oh, we got a very nice comment here. We've got Nerdy Nerd says, "Wow, that teaser for Skye Hoshi looks so good. I can't wait to watch it."
Yes, thanks, Nerdy Nerd.
Follow up from Fairy Fan, sick teaser. I need this in my life. You don't have much. Don't have long to wait. April 21st.
Yes,
April 21st.
And I would like to say we are doing something completely different this time around, which I'm extremely excited about. We are doing a live streaming premiere. It's a digital event. So you can actually buy a ticket to our digital movie theater. Cool. And you can watch the movie with me and the other cast of the movie. And we're going to be doing a little special stuff before the movie. Then we'll be watching the movie together. And then afterwards, we'll do a live Q&A and you can like write to us and we'll be interacting.
Exciting.
It's going to be super, super cool. And it does have a couple different things. If you get a ticket, you'll actually get a copy of the movie included. So it's like you buy a ticket to a movie screening, and then at the end, you actually own the movie, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, anyway, so skyehoshi.com. Do it. It's going to be really, really fun.
Of course, all the links for both Skye Hoshi for the promo site as well as Pure Magic Pictures are in the description of tonight's live stream, so you'll have that available to you as well. During the trailer, there's a scene in the trailer where, and I only know this because I went and I looked at the Pure Magic website and I wanted to make sure I knew kind of what was going on there. Mm-hmm. Your morning show is in the movie.
It is. Yes.
What is up with that? Because now I'm like, whoa, wait, is this a meta call out? Like, or is this do I call this the Kalani verse? What is this?
So, okay. Yes. I'm glad you noticed. So we call it the Pure Magic universe. Is what we have. And so our movies take place in the same world.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, in that world, the news show that all the people watch is Good Magical Morning.
Right.
And so that is the news show that they watch.
I love it.
Across all of our movies, so that's part of it, but it does get very meta because you can it's an actual show. We do an actual geek news show called Good Magical Morning, but so
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah. But yeah, in the movie they actually watch Good Magical Morning in the movie, and then later she may or may not actually meet us in person. So it gets a little meta.
That means you're gonna have to get a ticket to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Yeah, but it is very cool. We kind of tied it in with this show, and it seemed very natural because we're always reporting on stuff. We're like, oh yeah, One Piece Netflix adaptation, and
Right.
oh this and that. So we're always talking about anime news or Nintendo video games, whatever.
Yeah.
So it just seemed natural to, if something crazy happened in the anime world, I mean, Good Magical Morning is going to report on it.
Of course they would. Yeah, that makes total sense.
So, but yeah, it was just kind of fun to do that. So yes, that is the scene. She shoves ramen right in her mouth, and it's the crazy ramen scene right into her seeing Good Magical Morning for the first time. Yeah, it's a lot of meta fun.
You were talking earlier about being able to walk around the convention and sort of have these questions like, oh, who are you supposed to be? I'm an original character. And so that does beg the question, as a writer, you have to know who that character is, Skye Hoshi, who she is within the context of your film. Do you also have the conception for the anime from which she originates from?
I do, actually. I'm very excited because so I wrote the whole story of Skye Hoshi as the anime, like what the anime is, even though the anime doesn't exist. The idea exists, exactly, yet. And so as we're making the movie, we always have like the actual anime to point back to. And so we mention it, and we mention details of the anime in the movie. And the idea is eventually maybe we'll end up making the actual anime. But something I'm very excited about is we actually are releasing Skye Hoshi issue #1 of the manga. So we're actually creating the manga right now, and it is going to be releasing with the movie. And the manga is called Skye Hoshi Future Punk 3001, and it's basically the anime version of her story, and it kind of fills in some gaps of the actual movie, so you can kind of read it and experience the manga of her life in the anime.
When it comes to the distribution of the manga, are you going to do physical copies? Are you distributing that digitally with the film?
We actually have physical copies that we'll be sending out.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually, one of the things you can do on the website is you can get a movie ticket, and it comes with the manga. So
that's fantastic.
And we'll send it to you.
What's funny
I'm
is
super excited about that.
Well, Pokemon lover, what? There's a Skye Hoshi manga too. How do I get a copy? Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know, as do we all.
That's great.
Andy, you had some stuff prepared that I think you wanted to work through.
It's not. It's more or less focusing in on yourself and your producer and your characters.
I didn't want to monopolize the whole time.
Monopolize. Go ahead.
Didn't you want? You wanted to show? Did we want to go through the press material and kind of talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, you got some stuff.
Yeah. This is somewhat. I've summed some of it from the press material and some other whatnots.
Yeah.
So yourself, award-winning writer and director. Your feature debut was Plunder Quest, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
And upcoming projects include, this one has got my interest peaked, The Squatchers.
Oh
yes,
that's right. You're a big cryptid fan.
I am.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that one is due out later this year, is it? Or
The Squatchers?
Yes. Or is it still a ways off?
So The Squatchers actually was it's completely written and mostly casted already. And we are planning on shooting it later this year sometime. So
it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, we got the Sasquatch costume and everything. We actually have somebody who is going to be playing Sasquatch. He's actually like a really talented creature actor.
Oh, cool.
I'm very excited to be working with him. And Olivia, who of course plays Skye, she actually is going to be one of the lead characters in The Squatchers as well. So
now
it'll be fun.
I know that New York State has a ton of wooded area, but I mean, if you ever needed a location shoot, Ontario's not that far, and I know a couple of guys.
Yes,
I know a couple of hairy guys that would love to help out.
No Figure says, "I love squatching. I can't wait for this."
We all love squatching.
Yes. And Resolute Rebellion says,
rocks.
"There you go."
They do.
Love it. Yeah, so The Squatchers is kind of my take on the Goonies. You know, I've talked about Goonies. Well, I love the Goonies so much. So it's basically if a group of friends go upstate to go Sasquatch hunting to fulfill a childhood dream, and everything goes wildly wrong. So that's the kind of the concept of it. Yeah, it's kind of my take on the adult Goonies, like if they all grew up and we're still friends, you know.
Very cool.
So yeah.
Go Figure says, "Come to Ontario and let's go squatching."
See now, Go Figure. No, is it saying exactly what I'm saying?
Yo.
That's awesome.
But next up from the press release, we have Stephanie Hubbard, your wife, producer of this.
The greatest producer there ever was.
Also owner of the streaming service Pure Magic Pictures. And she previously wrote and directed the punk rock romance Lily Darling, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, she is amazing. The best producer there ever was. She's such a great writer director. We have so much fun working together. And I'll write a movie and she'll produce that, and then she'll write a movie and I'll produce that. So we kind of have like this fun
that's
thing.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, everything we make together, but just depends. Sometimes I'm producing her stuff or she's producing my stuff. But it's definitely a lot of fun to work together. And actually with Lily Darling, I actually was the composer on that one, so that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
I wrote a bunch of punk rock tunes for that movie. It was
super cool. Nice. super
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the lead actress for Skye Hoshi, Olivia Roldan, and she also appears in your film Plunder Quest, playing the Blue Mermaid, correct?
She does, yeah. She's amazing. She's seriously one of my favorite people to work with. And super talented, and she was in Plunder Quest as the Blue Mermaid, the slap heard around the world, we call it. It's the part of the movie where she slaps Thomas Waters in the face really, really hard, and it's one of the most iconic moments of the movie. And yeah, of course, she's Skye Hoshi herself, right. And she seriously did an insanely good job. Like her talent is just next level. So I can't wait for people to see Skye Hoshi, and she really, really just pops off screen, and just you fall in love with this character instantly. And she's just so lovable and funny, and it's just such a great character. And then Olivia is also going to be the character Faye in the Squatchers, which is one of the leads as well. So 3 for 3. She's fun to work with. Yeah. So
she also has an upcoming role in the TV series 3 Women, I believe.
Yeah.
If I read right on the IMDb.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, she's killing it. She's been in a couple like TV shows, other movies as well. So she's really, really talented. Fun to work with.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Hunter Cole in the role of Adam.
Good old Hunter.
And,
love this guy.
American actor, singer from Long Island, New York.
That's our ramen fan.
Yeah.
He's the fellow working in the comic shop when she falls out of the poster, right?
Yep.
That's the one that makes the fateful wish, right?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays opposite Olivia. He is the other lead, and he does amazing in this movie. It's my first time working with him. And man, he was just such a joy to work with. He's super funny. He really brought like a quirky vibe to this character that you'll really see in the movie. He has like a very quirky tone to him, but it's like really lovable and funny. And that was really fun to work with him. And yeah, I think he really elevated this character and made it fun. So he's a really, really talented actor.
Yeah, I guess one of his episodes of the web series The Drive-Thru Therapist won Best Comedy at Toronto's International Women Film Festival.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So,
nice.
Accolades.
That's awesome.
Next up, we have Regina.
Famatigan.
I am sorry.
Famatigan, yeah.
In the role of Kira.
Kira, yeah.
Actress, singer dedicated to storytelling from El Paso, Texas. And she also has upcoming films The Ghost Light, Flower Child, and provides the voice for Angela Wong in the animated series Zack in Time.
All right.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh my God. Regina is great. It was my first time working with her. And she's just so fun to work with. I can't wait to get her in the next thing. It was funny because she plays this really mean character. Like her character's like a super bummer all the time, but you kind of love it. She's kind of like mean. She's deliciously evil, as we call it. But yeah, it's you somehow love it. You kind of want more every time.
Sure.
But it's funny because she's the nicest person you'll ever meet. She's so nice, so caring, so loving. She's scary good at bass.
Scary good at bass.
So yeah, she was great. And it was funny too, because she had never played a bass guitar before, but I wrote, a part for a bassist. So I actually showed her how to play bass. And cool. she practiced. And so when you see her playing bass, she's actually playing the right notes. And I'm really impressed because she looks, as a musician, I buy it. She looks like she knows what she's doing.
Things that take you out of a movie: fake eating, fake drinking, fake smoking, fake musicianship.
Yep.
That one drives me nuts. So it's like, as a musician, like the music has to be correct.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Chris Richards in the role of Mr. Mario. That would be the comic shop owner.
Yeah, good old Chris. Chris. He is one of the funniest guys. He's so hilarious. I think he wins the award for being the most off book in the best way. He kept on, like, it was so hard to edit this movie because he kept on giving me so much hilarious improv that I just didn't like. I'm like, I can only use one of these takes, but he said so many funny things. Which one am I? Now what? Like, which one do I have to choose? So great problem to have. Really talented guy. He really elevated the comedy in this movie.
Sure.
And I think he plays this really funny character. He's a comic shop owner. He's very stingy. He's a little bit like Mr. Krabs, but he really has a heart for his employees too, so he's got a soft side to him. And he's just a really, really funny dude. So I think, awesome. I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I guess he's got 15 previous acting credits, including Pandemic Trilogy and an episode of Bull.
Okay.
And he's got 10 more upcoming as well. So
oh, wow.
Lots.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah, lots in the tank.
Except we have Chris Lovejoy in the role of Chris the guitarist.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the pop punk band Planet Mercury.
Ooh.
And has had roles in HBO's Skye and the short Training Wheels, where he was also the composer.
Oh, cool.
This guy is a legend. I love this guy. He is one of the most talented musicians I've ever met. And when I got his audition, it was a no-brainer for me. I was like, oh my God, you are Chris for the movie, and your name just so happens to be Chris. This is perfect.
Perfect fit.
Awesome.
Yeah, he even showed up wearing a shirt with his name embroidered on it. It said Chris, and I'm like, keep it. So he actually wears it in the movie. It's great.
Yes,
he was perfect for the role. I needed somebody who could obviously act, but also be a frontman of like an awesome rock band. And I'm like, that's kind of a tall order, Yeah. And this guy it was everything. He was perfect, and so he actually plays guitar and sings in the movie, but also on the soundtrack for the movie too, which is really cool. So super fun to work with him. And me and him are just still making tunes now on the side.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Go check out Planet Mercury, his band. It's very, very cool. Very fun band.
Excellent. And last but certainly not least here, we have Louis Gaudio in the role of Marvin.
Yes, Louis. He's so funny. Louis, actually, he writes. I met him as he came in to write for our show, Good Magical Morning.
Okay.
And Good Night Tonight, our late night comedy show. And so he's a really, really great comedy writer. And come to find out later, he's a really great actor. He actually puts on once a month. He puts on a comedy show in New York City called R Bar. Yeah, and it's a really fun comedy show, and so I've been to it a couple times. So if anybody in New York City, check out R Bar, go watch it. It's really funny.
Yeah.
So he's super great, super hilarious. And so when I wrote the character of Marvin, he's supposed to be this like just super intense, like crazy guy, but he somehow knows more than everybody else and is secretly like actually knows all the real information. He's smarter than us all, but he's also kind of like a crazy person. And so it's he's just this really funny character. I love his character. So his whole bit is that he has a fear of time travel. That's his bit. So he perpetually thinks that he's the past him, and at any moment future him is going to come stop him from doing something. And so he's always on edge.
Yeah.
He's like, is this the thing that's gonna tear the space-time continuum?
This is my paradox.
Is this my So he's always on edge about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to circle back to the musical thing, because you are also a musician, as you had alluded to. Man, we just talked about the number of hats you wore on this picture. So as a musician, as you said, you did score your previous film. Did you score this one?
I did not score this one, but what I did do is I did write a bunch of songs for this movie. And so that was kind of the fun hybrid, I guess you could say. So I have a amazing composer, Victor. He is doing like a really cool orchestral music for the movie. So it has kind of like that, classic Hollywood, like Back to the Future tone to it. But
it definitely comes through in the teaser.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yeah, that's his music. He's doing a great job. But the band is a big part of the movie. And so I wrote all the music that the band plays.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there's a few different scenes in the movie where the band's actually playing. And so those are the songs that I wrote for it. So I got to have a lot of fun with that. And then, make some tunes.
Just as a follow-up to that, as a musician though, does that influence the way, like, I know it's, and I don't understand the process because I've never written a film. It is a bucket list item for me, by the way.
Nice.
When it comes time to put the music down to the film, do you just hand it off and go, okay? I mean, you must have some input, and being a musician yourself must influence the decision-making process of, like styles and themes and what you would like to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the workflow really is, I sit down with my composer and we talk for a long time about what we want the movie to feel like, what the themes are, what like the musical tones or the musical sounds are, because we're like, well, she's from an anime and the anime is set in the future, so let's get some cool 80s synth as a part of her character. So you'll hear a little bit of like 80s synth with her character, so we talk about all these nuances of the movie. And then musical inspiration, like, okay, well, we know that we like Back to the Future music. We know like we like the music from E.T. We like, these different pieces. So we really talk about like music, what we like, what we don't like. And from there, and then I edit the movie. And then I put in, a lot of times I'll put in temp music. So it's like temp tracks just to kind of get a feeling.
Sure.
And then we'll do a spotting session basically where we'll watch the movie together and we'll talk about where the music needs to go and up and down and here and there. So it's a very collaborative process. And then he goes, makes the tunes and sends it over, and I place it in, and usually it's knocks it out of the park, and there you go. So.
Well, we are literally right around the corner from the big release. It's April 21st. It's on Pure Magic, puremagicpictures.com. You had talked before the show about potentially other distribution for the film, maybe?
Yeah, potentially. Right now, we're trying something super new, which we're excited about. If you go to skyehoshi.com,
right?
SkyeHoshi, Skye Hoshi. We're doing the digital premiere, so that's
cool.
the new thing that we're trying this time
Okay,
around.
that's awesome.
And so we'll have different show times, and we'll be there for each one. And I think that's going to be a really, really cool experience. So that's kind of the big thing we're focusing on right now. And then, of course, once the premiere is over, a few weeks afterwards, the movie releases on Pure Magic Pictures. And so you can do like a subscription, so you can watch everything on our platform. Right. Or if you're like, I just want to watch Skye Hoshi only, you can buy or rent Skye Hoshi as well. So
Okay.
Whatever works.
Well, I mean, that sounds like it's going to be a ton of fun. There's part of me that wants to sit down and have an entire conversation about how does somebody start a streaming service, because that just fascinates me to no end.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
I'm sure it is. I am absolutely sure of that. Man, this has been an awesome conversation. I really appreciate you wanting to come and hang out with us.
The other follow-up question.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Any chance that you're going to maybe shop it around to like film festivals or say like an anime convention premiere?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, I would love to premiere it at like do a showing at an anime convention. That'd be a lot of fun.
We do have a huge anime convention, Anime North. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, I'll have to look into that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see if we can do an anime convention or two. That would be cool.
Well, we're totally happy to support the film and to support your work as well, just as you found us and are supporting us just by being here. So really happy to be able to have this opportunity to sit down and talk with you. I don't know. Did you have anything else, Andy?
Now in waiting mode.
Yeah, I know. We're all waiting. We're all waiting.
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait for this movie to come out. It's I'm doing the finishing touches on the edit right now, and
great.
And it's go time. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be really cool.
Well, listen,
it's definitely pushed me in so many different creative ways and new ways, and I'm excited. I think this is the best thing I've done in my career so far.
Awesome.
So
I'm
excited to debut it to the world.
Cool. So, I mean, why don't we take one more look at the teaser before we shift gears here? Now, Kalani, you are not obligated to, but when we have some other things to talk about, did you want to stick around and hang out for a little while?
I got a little more time. I'd love to stick around for a little bit.
Well, listen, let's run the trailer one more time, so anybody who's joining late can get a look at that now. It's Skye Hoshi Anime Girl. It premieres April 21st on puremagicpictures.com, and let's have a look at that trailer one more time.
Yep. Wish Skye Hoshi was real. She'd probably be all nice and bet you she'd have ramen with me.
Hold it right there.
Where the hell did you even come from?
Skye Hoshi, the anime character, has just disappeared from the anime.
What?
This is insane.
I've got to get you back to the anime. That is a customer that you just zapped.
Oh man, sorry.
Gonna be so good.
I can't stop chuckling at that reaction. Oh, sorry.
I love it.
So good. So good. We'll change gears here for a second. Let's dip into some headlines, Andy. What? Oh, you want to? Okay, here we go. Let's.
Pokemon lover.
Dang, loving this trailer. I want more.
Love it.
Don't have long to wait.
Yeah. But there is some other new stuff. Sideshow Collectibles unveiled a new line of
I do like toy news.
Premium format statues for Vox Machina.
Oh, come on.
So Eric's going to be all over those.
Kalani, are you a Vox Machina fan?
No, I'm out the loop over here.
Oh, wow.
It's an Amazon Prime exclusive series.
Okay.
They just finished season 2.
Season 2. This actually spun out of a, believe it or not, the folks that do this show, they're a bunch of famous voice actors. So Matthew Mercer and a bunch of his friends that get together. This spawned out of their Dungeons and Dragons tabletop game. They set out to do a Kickstarter for a single 22-minute episode. It went down last year or the year before as the most successful film Kickstarter of all time. They overshot their Kickstarter to make a full 10-episode season, and then Amazon Prime picked it up for its successive seasons. But now here we are with these premium format statues.
But the kicker was they had the voices from Critical Role. They came on and did the reveal of the statues
of their characters.
So they're sitting there getting to see them first, and
that's awesome.
You hear the actor voicing going on behind, and it's just super neat. We'll have the link below for that post later as well.
I've only played a few campaigns, but I do have a D&D character. He is a ranger. Nice. I'm a ranger who hates the outdoors.
Oh, that's okay. That's a tough one to act. That is a tough one. I do like that though. We can totally spin off into D&D for a minute. Yeah, as a huge D&D fan for most of my life, there are other ranger archetypes. Like everybody thinks of ranger as in like Strider and Aragorn, but like, what about the guy who lives in the urban sprawl? What about the urban ranger?
Hey, there you go.
You know what I mean? Like the guy who's
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, not comfortable in the woods, but is fine in the city, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Different way to think about it. Yeah,
that's funny.
Oh, wait a minute. Now that you've got some convention news.
I do have. There was a couple different conventions this past weekend, fairly close to here.
Small one, anyway.
Yeah, the Oshawa Comic Con was on Saturday.
Oh, right.
Put on by Pop Culture Canada.
Pop Culture Canada.
I didn't manage to get down there, but I didn't get any photos from it. So,
that's okay. How was it?
It was good. Good turnout of people. Good mixing of people. Nice to see.
Yeah.
The community coming together like that.
And I mean, the Pop Culture Canada shows are a little bit. They're a little different in that they tend to be a bit smaller and a little more intimate.
Yeah.
And they're all charitable.
They're all charitable. Donations for whatever local food bank and whatever city they're at.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool way to get out and get to experience that without having to dump a bunch of money.
Yeah, go for like a full weekend in Toronto or whatever.
Right.
I did get some shots from the Peterborough one.
Oh, right.
Where they had
much closer to us.
Yeah. Lots to see there. Professional cosplayer Victoria Budding was in attendance as Batwoman.
That's a great costume.
It is. I guess she made it herself.
Aren't the best cosplays?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There was lots of vendors there, like the Sage Bunny with original artwork, stickers, and more. L.A. Nuami from Zelfa Comics and Collectibles was also there.
Is this the fellow that drove up from Michigan?
I believe he was down in Michigan for a convention and drove back up.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's from the Mississauga area.
Okay,
but making the rounds anyway with his original artwork and books.
That is a long drive.
Yeah. Lots of comic book and minifig and even Funko Pop vendors going through.
Nice.
And as well, to ensure the security of the galaxy, the 501st was in attendance.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they provided one of my favorite moments from the thing. As you can see in the middle here, there's a little fellow who had Darth Maul mask.
His Darth Maul mask.
Yeah, I love it.
501st was just walking through, and they both paused. And he looked up, and the stormtrooper looks down.
They just kind of lock eyes for a minute.
They lock eyes, and then they do a little handshake, do the photo, and it was just adorable.
Move along.
But the event itself, Global News was out covering it.
Oh, cool.
And I may or may not have been caught on camera a couple times.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, there he is.
There you are.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
And
diving through the long boxes.
Yeah.
Padding out your collection.
Trying to.
How many years now?
I've got a few, more than a few left to go, but they're all in the wrong direction. They're all older, so they're all more expensive.
Of course.
Yeah.
Key issues.
Yeah. But yeah, that was on the weekend.
I want to talk about the state of Warner Brothers in DC as the newer developments that came out this week. There was a couple of different agencies reporting or outlets reporting that James Gunn was hired to write his Superman movie long before the controversy with Henry Cavill.
And he's just kept it under wraps?
Apparently. Yeah. Before he was handed the job of co-CEO. So, I mean, we talked before about the state of DC as a studio and how crazy things were under Walter Hamada. And it just seems like there was even more going on that we did not know about. Yeah.
Well, if he is writing that movie, though, you can expect the soundtrack to just be banging.
Of course it will.
Because he'll have that picked out first.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I know. That guy knows how to do a soundtrack.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah, he does. Sticking with DC for a second, leave it to toys to spoil your movie. They've done it again.
Oh,
It wasn't Lego this time. McFarlane Toys showing off some of their figures for the upcoming Flash multiverse line. We get a big tease. Looks like Wonder Woman.
oh,
And it's
Wonder
Gal
Woman.
Gadot.
Oh,
Yeah, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman figure leak this week. So
that's awesome. 'cause I
hopefully
was-
that doesn't
she
ruin
was
it for anybody. But
following the Flash TV show at all.
so as I'd said before, I kind of dropped it at about whatever season their daughter came back from the future.
Oh, she's been back so many times.
The first time. So after that, when like Cisco and everybody said, I'm leaving, when the actors started leaving, when Tom, my gosh, Tom, I can't think of his name. When Reverse Flash
Yeah,
Thawne left, I'm like, I'm out. It stopped working for me.
fair enough. But this latest season, latest season, we're 3 episodes in, and just last week they revealed the big bad for this season.
And
I was a little bit shocked.
okay,
They're going with Red Death.
Red Death.
No,
Okay,
that
tell me a little bit
character
more
is
about that
spinning
character.
out of the Dark Knight's metal. Where
Okay. Oh, the
various,
metal?
yeah, the
Oh,
various,
really?
the various Batman.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like the Batman who laughs, the Batman from this.
right.
This is supposed to be the Bruce Wayne that absorbs Barry Allen and the Speed Force,
Oh,
but they're doing
okay.
it with a CW twist.
Plot twist.
So
Plot twist.
spoilers if you haven't seen last week's episode. Red Death in this iteration is Ryan Wilder, the second Batwoman from CW.
Right. Whose show got unceremoniously canceled.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they're keeping it within the Bat family, but
Yeah.
doing the twist.
Wave 2 of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon figures went up for pre-order this week.
Yeah, you got them.
I ordered them. I can't not do it. I know the quality control on Wave 1 was awful, but I have to have them.
That's no different than me. I got my Alf figure this past Saturday.
Oh, really? That's
so thanks to Jeff at New Books.
What?
NECA?
You got an Alf figure?
I got an Alf
Alf,
figure,
yeah.
Ah, that's amazing.
and Jeff was complaining that he had only ordered 2,
and he
thinking that it wasn't going to be as
and he wished he'd
popular.
ordered more.
yeah.
Of
Because
course.
as soon as the 2 were gone, everybody's
Of
like, "I need Alf,
course.
I need Alf."
Of course.
But
Now they all got to go back to customizing their Star Wars Black Series Ewoks into
Yeah.
Alf.
well,
Oh man, it seemed like it was kind of a thin week for scathing entertainment news.
Yeah.
There really wasn't a whole lot going on. Now closer to home, with our, it's a double drop week for us, triple if you now include the Tuesday night's Random Fandom. The Mandalorian makes its return tomorrow.
Oh man.
If you're on the West Coast, you're lucky enough you can watch it at midnight. But for those of us here on the East, 3 a.m. I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. to do a watch party, but I'll watch it tomorrow and
the next episode,
the episode 11 of the Bad Batch. New TV spot came out today for The Mandalorian.
I saw that.
Looked pretty good.
I can't wait. I love the Mandalorian. So good.
We're huge fans of it here. There's been some discussion between Rick Famuyiwa and Dave Filoni. People have been asking, what is the fate? Essentially asking, what is the fate of the Cara Dune character? Sounds like they are not going to kill her off camera. That Dave Filoni said it's a big galaxy. She'll be out there somewhere.
I saw one interesting
Somewhere in the galaxy.
Somewhere.
I saw a fan theory that they're just going to get a new actress, put a Mandalorian helmet.
Oh,
on
I
her,
read that.
and say she took up the way of the Mandalorian, but her voice box was damaged.
So now she's Snake Eyes.
Yeah,
I do have to say there is no canon death for Jar Jar, meaning he could end up in the Mandalorian one day. I'm just saying.
So I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't mind Jar Jar Binks. I don't mind him.
He grew
I just
on me.
don't. Yeah, I mean,
I want to see him embrace his full potential as a Sith Lord.
I think
I think Jar Jar was actually, a Sith Lord. I think he was, I think he was Darth Sidious.
well, that's an opportunity to plug one of our old episodes, isn't
There
it?
you go.
You can check out our Fandom Infinities, where we actually took a stab at what ifing 3 different Star Wars stories of our own design. Andy, you took a stab at the Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Darth
good, actually.
Jar Jar.
Yeah, Darth Jar Jar.
You had mentioned, Kalani, that you had a Star Wars question.
Oh
earlier
yeah, you
on.
did,
Oh.
didn't you?
Okay, I want to know what's your guys' take on the 7, 8, and 9? How are you feeling about the 7, 8, and 9 on the Disney version of the trilogy?
I've been a Star Wars fan since 1980. I saw Star Wars for the first time on VHS in a top loader machine at a friend's house, and I've been
Nice.
enamored with it ever since. So I remember, what it was like after 1985 when Star Wars went away and there was nothing, and then the prequels came along, and I was that guy that went to see The Phantom Menace 6 times in theaters,
Yes.
just because I needed to see it again. I didn't
Yep.
care. I didn't care how good or bad it was. I was just excited to have new Star Wars. And I'm not gonna lie, maybe it's because I'm getting older now. I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. When the trailer for Rise of Skywalker came out, when Rey does the big crazy flip over Kylo Ren's ship, I was in tears. I was so moved by how beautiful that
nice.
trailer looked.
Or the trailer for 7 when Solo and Chewbacca walk in and they're like,
Chewie,
we're home.
we're home.
We're home. Yeah, that got me. The trailer. Oh yeah, so good.
I as a fan of stuff, and that's part of our show here, is we are fans first. Even when it's kind of like pizza for me. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. I mean, no, not all Star Wars is great Star Wars. The holiday special, which everybody widely derides, still had some redeeming qualities.
I watch the holiday special every year.
Sure.
Stephanie, my wife, she just sits through it oh, why are we watching this? And I'm like, because this is part of my tradition.
It really is.
Yeah.
So as far to specifically dial in on the sequels, on the Disney era of stuff, those 3 films, the biggest problem, this is from my perspective, is they suffered from a lack of oversight. There was no roadmap from A to C.
Or if there was a roadmap, it might have got diverted from in switching directors.
Right.
I mean, I want to take your road. I'm going to go my way.
Yeah, it really felt like the producers and directors were all just playing tug of war with it, and it just felt like it kind of fell over here, next movie, whoa, over here, the next movie, whoa, over here, So I just felt like it was disappointing to it had so much potential. I'm like, you got all the cast is back and all this stuff. Wow, how cool. And it just was come on, guys, you couldn't get it together,
Yeah.
So it was it was pretty disappointing in a lot of ways for me. But again, it's but you got Chewie and Han back together. I mean, you can't complain that much, So it's a double-edged sword for me. I see the good and I'm happy to see it together, but then I'm like, why did you do that with the Force?
I've always, and I side with Mark. I side with Mark Hamill. When Mark Hamill said to Rian Johnson, "Hey, with script in hand, this is not the Luke Skywalker that I know."
I'm with Mark on that. Yeah,
but I'm a professional and I'll do my job. I get that. No, it's not. Which is why when Luke Skywalker came back in The Mandalorian, I cried like a blithering baby.
Yes. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That's great. One of the things with and the sequels are now going through what I would say that the growing pains of what the prequels went through with all of the older fans of the original trilogy. They didn't relate to it. They couldn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then Star Wars: The Clone Wars came along, and with every season of The Clone Wars, it just got successively better and better and better.
And then Rebels.
Right. Between The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, which I've always said served to broaden and deepen and recontextualize the events of the prequels, I feel like the Disney Star Wars television projects are all working towards the same sort of, they're going to smooth the edges for the sequels the same way that the animated stuff did for the prequels.
Yeah.
So, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
More context, more
in depth, more stories from you didn't know you
I'm
needed.
very, very excited about The Mandalorian, though. I think they did a fantastic job with that. I feel like they just they knocked it out of the park. So I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah, and season 4 hasn't even been filmed yet. It's already written.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Good to know.
Yeah. Jon Favreau had said that earlier. It'd make the rounds earlier this week that season 4 is already written. So
nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We just crossed the 1 hour mark. I don't know. Does anybody need to get going? Or are we all good? Or
I'm good.
All right, you got any more you want to talk about?
Well, I saw that Netflix movie Troll. I finished watching that.
Oh,
The Norwegian film. It's not bad. It's the English dubbing on it.
Not bad.
Not bad. The English dubbing on it gives it a very much like a kaiju movie feel.
okay.
And it leans back and forth. Like in the beginning, we hate the troll. He's destroying that place.
Sure.
But by the end, they kind of get a soft spot for him.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, oh.
So
I kind of want to watch this now.
It's worth a watch for sure.
I fired up Tubi TV.
Oh boy,
the other day, and you can get lost in there.
Yep,
there's so much.
There's
a lot of B schlock in there, which is just wild. I found this movie that I didn't know existed, and the thumbnail I'm like, that's Jim Carrey.
Ooh,
1983, I think.
Rubberface.
Copper Mountain.
Copper Mountain.
Has anybody seen Copper Mountain with Jim Carrey?
I don't believe
I've never even heard of Copper Mountain.
I'd never heard of it either. Turns out that Copper Mountain, and now this thing is filmed 4:6, so it's clearly made for television. It is essentially a 1 hour, it's 59 minutes long. It is a 1 hour advertisement for the Copper Mountain Club Med ski resort that no longer exists. Stars Jim Carrey alongside Alan Thicke.
Ooh.
And it really has no plot, as Alan Thicke's character is essentially trying out for this ski team, while his traveling companion, Jim Carrey's character, is just trying to like hit on women and is just striking out.
I need to see this.
What's interesting about this is that every time Jim Carrey tries to hit on one of the girls, he is doing classic Jim Carrey impressions. And that is interesting to see him at that age to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then it's interspersed with live musical performances by Ronnie Hawkins and Rita Coolidge. So it's just like, it's bizarre.
Sounds so random. It sounds just as random as the Star Wars Holiday Special.
It's yeah. Except there's no virtual like quasi softcore porn element to it.
Oh, I saw one of those this week too, though.
No 20 minutes of Wookiees speaking with no subtitles.
Yeah, just.
Oh man.
No, none of that.
That's great.
That was the other terrible movie I saw this week. I shouldn't say terrible because it's bad enough that it's good.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be a horror movie. It's called X.
Okay.
And it is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Basically, a group of people go up to nowhere, Texas, to try and make a porno movie at the beginning of the home video market in 1979.
All right.
So they rent this bunkhouse off an old couple, and they go in, they do their thing, and they're like, do they know why we rented this place? And they're like, no, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. And the old fella, he's like, just don't bother my wife.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty much like a softcore porn.
Really?
The first half.
Yeah.
It also stars Jenna Ortega from Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
She's not naked in it though, so don't get your hopes up.
Okay.
But by the mid thing, an event happens that turns the guy who's filming, he wants to run. So that kicks off the horror section of it. There is one good jump scare, but then the rest you can telegraph.
Okay.
But the last kill, if you will,
sure,
it is absolutely worth it to watch this movie for this one moment.
All right.
It is hilarious.
Did you check out We Have a Ghost?
I have not seen it yet, but I do want to watch it.
I wanted to. So is it bad if I say that the best performance in the movie is David Harbour and he doesn't have a speaking part?
I'd buy that.
His one line, and it's garbled. You can barely hear it because his character just can't speak.
Yeah.
His performance is actually really good. The movie, it's okay. It just doesn't know what it is. It's part, there's some trappings of Beetlejuice in there. There's a little bit of Ghostbusters in there, but somewhere in the middle, it tries to be this like sci-fi action thing.
Anthony
Mackie,
and
then at the end,
is he not?
Anthony Mackie is in that.
The Falcon.
Yeah, and then by the end of it, it's this like heartfelt, dramatic, and it's like, wait a minute, like tonally, it's all over the place. So the first third is really, really good. The middle part is like, what's going on? Tig Notaro's in it, and she basically has no reason to be there other than to facilitate the sci-fi part, which to me was like, what's going on here? And then the end, it just kind of like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, We Have a Ghost. You might want to. It's a good thing it's on Netflix because.
There you go.
Yeah,
I just recently watched again. It's a classic. I watch it every now and then. Kung Pao, Into the Fist.
Kung
You ever see it?
Pao.
Yes.
So I missed out on Kung Pao.
Did you?
I did. Yeah,
You gotta watch it.
It is so good. It's just the most ludicrous thing you'll ever see. It's just insane in the best way.
Yeah.
Yeah. They basically took an old, foreign movie and recut it and did voiceovers and green screen stuff into it and made a completely new movie out of it. And it's just like this insane kung fu movie. It's amazing.
Okay, now I got to go find it.
And then
it's great.
You should follow his work because if I'm not mistaken, the guy that did that also did a spoof on Star Wars called Thumb Wars.
Oh, really?
Thumb Wars. Yes,
Thumb
I've
Wars.
seen Thumb Wars. Yes, it is so funny.
I'm a big fan of Star Wars fan films. I mean,
this is like literally it's thumbs.
It's not. Yeah, it's
Everybody is a
literally-
thumb.
Is it as good as Hardware Wars?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen that one.
Hardware Wars is like the OG Star Wars fan film. Yeah, they're like, yeah. I mean, check that out.
I'm a sucker for Spaceballs. I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah, it's a great one. But yeah, Hardware Wars with oh my god, what's the name of the character? Oh, they've all got like crazy names, but they're totally like, man, I want to say that they're memorable because I can't even remember what they are. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it is like it is widely considered to be the first Star Wars fan film.
Nice.
Probably came out in 79. Yeah.
Jeez, it's going back.
Flying toasters and stuff, whipping around on a green screen.
The brave little toaster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the prequel.
That's
exactly. Great. Well, man, I don't know. I think we've kind of we've sort of run the natural course of things for tonight's episode. I want to once again, Kalani, I want to say thank you for wanting to come and hang out with us for the last hour and a bit. Super excited for Skye Hoshi Anime Girl. It's premiering at skyehoshi.com, and then will be available later on puremagicpictures.com. Links to both of those in the description of the live stream tonight.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to let the people know what you're working on before we go?
I mean, just Skye Hoshi zapping your screen April 21st. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to premiere it, watch it with everybody, and it's a fun ramen filled, laser filled fantasy. It's got some comedy. It's got heart. It's great. It's just a fun ride. So I can't wait for people to watch it. I'm really excited. So check it out.
And I will be at the very least I will be renting it. I want to see it, so I'll be getting tickets. That's it for me, guys. Don't forget, we're back again on Sunday. Now we're gonna go live twice on Sunday. You can catch us at noon Eastern as we review episode 11 of Star Wars: The Bad Batch. That's Metamorphosis, and then come back and see us again at 6 p.m. when we debut season 3 of the Fandalorian with chapter 19, I think it is
17 or 19,
17 or 19, whatever the title is. I don't know what that is because I haven't looked it up yet, but I have a lot of writing to do come tomorrow morning. So until Sunday, guys, for Fandom Power, my name is Wes.
I'm Andy,
and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye for now.
See ya.